Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Brian Sudfield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, if you're new to the show, welcome to Top 5 Saturdays Live. What we do in this show is we'll take a look at an actor, actress, genre, sequels, threequels, whatever, and we'll honor said movie with that list or whatever. So, the cool thing about the show is that we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths, and we don't know each other's list. We kind of part ways every single week. We come back, deliver a top 5 list honoring said subject, and we'll have a good fucking time doing it. Before we introduce our guest, if you're watching on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of the podcast, the link will be in the description below. And if you're listening on Spreaker and you want a video version, and you want to see all of our beautiful faces, link will be in the description below. Brian, first, before I introduce our guest, how you doing, man? You just came back from a cruise.
That's right. I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
It's another fucking day in the life of me. So, Brian, would you like to introduce our lovable guest?
Absolutely. He was on our Top 5 Threequels episode about, like, a million months ago, and,
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, is Ash, a.k.a. Captain Vitus. Cap, how are you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I had a long day at work. I came home. I got my fucking chicken.
Wait, whoa. Were you going to fucking finish that? You were like, the chicken.
I forgot what
that was it.
I forgot what the boneless chicken wings hot case.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not just eating a live chicken, ladies and gentlemen. There.
Yeah, no, I didn't just like almost out myself, and I was like, oh wait, no, fuck.
Whoops. Hey, we don't want to reveal to the world what we fucking eat. Like, that's a secret. We shouldn't be telling anyone that.
Yeah, we have a.
Ash, how you doing, man? You doing pretty good? It's been 5 months since we last had you on.
I think Brian was more accurate with the a million years, but yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it was 5 million, give or take.
Yeah, we're all new. We're all 86 now. I know, it's great. We morphed to the same age. Like, Brian, you caught up with us. It's weird.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for doing that, Brian. So, Brian,
years we spent in the hyperbolic time chamber or some shit.
Brian, what is on today's docket?
Well, actually, before we get into that, I just want to give a quick shout-out to a friend of the Top 5 Saturdays Live show, Amanda Dunn. She is currently in Virginia Beach for the premiere of her new film, Eyes of the Roshi. I'm very proud of her. We're all proud of her. She's like the second lead in the film. Bravo to Amanda. Cannot wait to see the final product. This week, we are going to be talking about Jonah Hill in honor of the new film, War Dogs.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the Hill. I can relate to him quite a bit because fat growing up, lost a lot of weight, then I grew back my weight, and then I fluctuate from that point on and just kind of lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. So I am basically Jonah Hilling it for my later years of my life so far. So I'm excited to talk about him. He's one of the best comedic actors out there, and you can fight me on it. I think he's really great at improv, and he's really sharp with what he does in his movies. So let's go around the horn. Ash, when you think of Jonah Hill, like what do you think of? Like what is the Jonah Hill to you?
The Jonah Hill to me?
Yes.
I feel like he's evolved over the years. He's almost turned into a, dare I say, Christian Bale type. Where you say he keeps on, he's like Christian Bale goes from ultra skinny to ripped. Jonah Hill goes from ultra fat to just
ultra.
He goes from ultra fat to like me, like not fat but definitely not skinny.
He's basically just he's normal.
Exactly, yeah, but he's morphed into like an actual actor now. Like,
yeah,
we're doing this in celebration of War Dogs, which is a great film, I thought, and I thought he was great in it. But when you ask me, I always think of that old Jonah Hill, that old fat Jonah Hill who was in all the Judd Apatow movies. He'd just pop up with Seth Rogen and party, and you'd be like, yeah, it's him again. You know, he was always a treat to see in a movie. You were never like, fuck, it's Jonah Hill. You were always like, yeah, it's Jonah Hill.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really funny because, like, speaking of War Dogs, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow.
It's great.
Oh yeah, no, I'm listen, you people out there, You guys ready for this? You want to fight me on this? I actually like all 3 Hangover movies, and I like Todd Phillips a lot. Sue me. So, with Jonah Hill, I've always like been excited to see him in movies. And speaking of War Dogs, he actually kind of gives off like that douchebag persona, like a Miles Teller. So I actually find it funny that two people in War Dogs, the 2 main characters, are 2 actors that some people can't even stand. So, I mean, I don't know what he's like in his personal life. He could be a douche, but as far as his movies and stuff, I always look forward to seeing like Ash said. So, Brian, what about you? Do you what do you think of The Hill?
Oh, it's like Ash said, it is such a delight to see Jonah Hill in pretty much anything, whether it be his comedies, dramas, anything. Like, I mean, yeah, like, he's evolved so much. I mean, at first, like, he was just a comedic fat kid, and now he's really evolved himself into what I consider a really talented actor. And, I mean, yes, he still does the comedies, and now he's starting to do a few more dramas, but Jonah Hill is someone that I thought would never be what he is today, but he really changed everyone's perspective of him by becoming something that none of us expected him to be, and I have to be very proud of him for that, and now I consider him to be one of the people I'm most excited to see whenever he does any film ever.
Yeah, and people got to realize, out of Judd Apatow's Rat Pack, he is the most successful so far.
He's the only one who has that 2 Academy Award nominations.
2 Academy Awards. Listen, everyone, think about. I'm gonna blow your fucking mind for a second. Jonah Hill, the guy who was talking about porking a girl in Superbad, has 2 Oscar nominations. Seth Rogen, who probably smokes 5 joints a day, was speaking Aaron Sorkin written dialogue last year, directed by Danny Boyle. These fucking people that Judd Apatow has like raised as his own children have gone off into the world, and now they're like some of the best in Hollywood. It's pretty fucking awesome. So yeah, there you go. I'm excited about this episode. So. Let's begin, guys. And before we begin, I have a board right here. I'm going to write down all the answers like usual, and then we'll share them at the end, and we'll all fight about it. So, all right, Ash, we'll start with you since you are the guest. What is your number 5 favorite Jonah Hill film of all time?
Of all time? Well, I'm excited to share this list. This list, I comprised them of films that Jonah Hill shines in.
Okay.
You know? So no just cameos, so even though Django Unchained is the best movie ever made, it's not in here. But one of the first movies that really helped Jonah Hill break out, and is my number 5, is Moneyball. Which is, I feel like Moneyball was the turning point for Jonah Hill, where all of us knew him as the super bad guy, as the guy from the Apatow gang. But this was a subdued performance. This was him playing a real human character, opposite Brad Pitt of all people. In a movie about baseball, I could give less of a shit about sports ball people, yet somehow they still keep you engaged the entire way through, and I think Jonah Hill's a big part of what made that movie so great. I mean, it's Brad Pitt's movie, but he's right there, and he's got that Best Supporting nomination, so I think if you're talking Jonah Hill, Moneyball, I think that's a historic film for his career.
I totally agree, and I'm going to shock everyone when I say this. I'm going to talk about the movie because it is not on my list. I agree that was the film to kind of break him out into a different mold other than comedy. But with my number 5 pick, and I'll get to it after Brian, I think that was the one that kind of showed me a different side to him. But we'll get to it in just a second. But Brian, would you like to talk about Moneyball, or would you like to pass?
That is also my number 5.
Oh shit! Ladies and gentlemen, look at that! Look at that!
Oh shit! What up?
You guys are blood brothers, son.
We gotta cut our hands, Brian, and clap now. Let's do it.
Blood brothers for life.
Is it fucked up? I actually have a razor blade right here.
Whoops. All right. So, Brian,
open the boxes.
Sure. The box of the soul. Sorry. That was rude. I crossed the line there. The box.
That was funny, mate.
All right. So, Brian, that's suicide's not funny to everyone. Brian, explain yourself. Why is Moneyball your number 5?
Well, it's the first film where I think all of us saw Jonah Hill and we're like, hey, this guy could actually act. Because the thing is, I remember when I first saw the trailer for this, and the trailer started with Brad Pitt, and I'm like, hey, I love Brad Pitt. Hey, baseball, I like baseball. Jonah Hill comes in, and I'm like, what the fuck is that guy doing there? It's the fat kid from Superbad. Why is he here? And then they show Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel right. This must be a comedy hidden in this trailer. There's no way that this is a real drama. So then I see the movie, and I'm surprised. Like, first of all, it's a great film. I mean, everyone should go see this. Everyone should try to watch this at least once, especially if you're a baseball fanatic. But Jonah Hill, his character, he's very crucial to the story, and he helps out Brad Pitt's character try to revamp the Oakland A's from the down pit that they're going through right now to something even bigger. And Jonah Hill is so straight in this movie. He's not funny. And in the scenes where he tries to be funny, he is funny. But the funny stuff doesn't really come from him. It comes from Brad Pitt. And that's the thing. He's so restrained in this role. It's like what Seth Rogen did in Steve Jobs. Like, no one ever saw Seth Rogen do anything like that, and yet he pulled it off. And Jonah Hill pulled it off so well in Moneyball. I have to give major credit to this movie. It's one of the best sports films I've seen in recent memory. It's one of the best baseball films I've ever seen. Every time we bring up this film, I always have to give it an honorable mention. Like, I always have to give it a shout. When we talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman, I gave it a shout. When we talked about sports films, I gave it a shout out. It's always good to talk about Moneyball because it's one of those baseball films that's so influential and so important to, like, baseball fandom, you can't ignore it. Moneyball is my number 5.
Yeah, no, like I said, I like Moneyball quite a bit, and I think he did a really great job in it. And this is the movie which I'm sure the next one, or one of them that we'll talk about, involves a certain animal in the title, is that Jonah Hill can work with anyone. He can work with a lot of comedic actors really well. He can work with Channing Tatum really well, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's fucking insane how you can plop Jonah Hill in any movie, and he can have the best chemistry as if they've been friends for years. So Moneyball is a great pick, gentlemen. However, my number 5 pick is the one I'm going to go with where I sat in the theater and I was like, holy shit, this is a weird-ass dark comedy, but I'm digging every single moment of it. Now, you guys are probably like, what is it? It sounds like it's something that we all know. I don't know if anyone knows about this movie. Ash, Brian, ladies and gentlemen listening out there, do you guys remember Cyrus?
That's a good film. That's a good one.
Cyrus is one of those dark-ass comedies that just, it hit me in a weird way, like where I saw it and I walked out going, wow, John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill and Marissa Tomei, what did I just watch? But I enjoyed it. Essentially what happens is John C. Reilly falls in love with Marissa Tomei, and Marissa Tomei has Jonah Hill as her son. He's like an old, person, not old, but like, our age, living at his mom's home and stuff. And he's kind of weird. And it's kind of like that darkly comedic edge to it and stuff. And it's actually my first film I've seen of the Duplass brothers, because that was a film written and directed by them. Jay and Mark Duplass, they've done films like Jeff Who Lives at Home, and they produced like pretty much every indie in the past like 2 years. So, yeah, no, I really like Cyrus quite a bit, and it really stuck with me even after all these years, because I think it came out in 2010, I believe. So 6 years later, I still like Cyrus quite a bit. It was a different turn for me, for him, especially after seeing Superbad in 2008 or 2007. I was a senior in high school, so it was kind of weird 2 years later to see that guy in Cyrus and just have such a creepy ass performance. So I know it's not on you guys' list, so would you guys like to talk about it?
I forgot it existed, to be honest.
Right?
And as you were saying it, I was like, what the fuck? That sounds weird. And I looked it up, and I was like, wait, I watched that shit years ago. I remember that. I don't remember what I thought about it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, no, it's like
That's
I said,
what I got. Yeah, if we go in a time machine.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that like it was there and then it left. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know another Judd Apatow Rat Pack member, Jason Segel, is in Jeff Who Lives at Home. So there you go.
Which is a fantastically underrated film.
That is also very good, and that was their sophomore effort from the Duplass brothers. They are some of the best. So yeah, number 5. So so moving on to number 4. Ash, take it away.
Oh yay! I was going to bring up my list. Okay. Number 4. Number 4 is a movie I feel like we can all agree is one of his better performances because do you know an easy character to play? Yourself. My number 4 is This Is the End, where one of the most genius comedic concepts I've ever seen in my life, where it's like, let's just take a bunch of actors, let's throw them in the fucking apocalypse. Let's see how that plays out. And it played out awesomely. Every actor in that movie does an over-exaggerated role of playing their self, where they take like a little thing that, oh, people think I'm this, so I'm going to play that up. And one of the best parts of that movie was Jonah Hill, where Jonah Hill the entire time, he plays that bro who's like so nice to everyone. He's like, oh man, you're so great at everything, man. Oh yeah, this and that. Then by the end of it, he like gets like raped by Satan, and it's just it's non-stop comedy. It's one of my favorite concepts of all time, and it's one of the best comedies I've ever seen these guys do. And I think it's one of Jonah Hill's much more funnier performances out there, especially in recent memory.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm going to pass on it. So it's on my list somewhere, but I will say that I agree with Ash 100%. If you guys want to go back 3 years ago to my review of This Is the End, I said in my review, and I'll say it again, this will become a cult comedy classic 20 years down the road. This is going to be one of the most remembered comedies of this decade so far, and I'm not even joking. It's not an exaggeration. It's just the truth. So I'm going to pass on it, though. So, Brian, would you like to pass on this?
Well, the Blood Brothers thing continues.
What the
it's my
bullshit! What is this bullshit? Brian, I was
texting Brian from the toilet. I was like, we need to have the same list.
Okay, everyone listening out there, I feel as if Brian's cheated on me. We've been married for over a year now. He cheats with Ashley. He met at a Denny's. He's like, I'm going to cheat on this fucking person.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, we went to a motel last night. We were just writing lists together.
No, that's fine. You guys click emotionally like that. That's totally cool. Whatever, do you, man. I hate both of you. All right, Brian, explain yourself again, asshole.
Damn. Jesus. Chase Lee. Calling me an asshole on camera.
Oh, I called you worse on this fucking...
God. Okay. Well, it's like Ash said. I mean, it's one of the most clever concepts for any film really ever. I mean, they play over-exaggerated versions of himself. Jonah Hill is like playing this sweetheart, being nice to Jay Baruchel the entire time.
Jay Baruchel hates him.
I know. Can't stand him. He can't stand me. Jonah Hill basically has so many great moments in this film. I mean, the moment you meet him, obviously, is great because he talks about his dog Aja, like A-H-J, whatever the hell it's spelled. And then he's like, oh, the dog can't bark. So she's on her side going, Jonah Hill just kills it every scene he's in. And, yeah, it's what I call a bloody beautiful comedy masterpiece. Yeah, This Is the End is fucking spectacular. I rewatched it. I showed it to my friends before we went to go see Sausage Party, and I'm like, one of my friends had never seen it, and I'm like, Shane, you need to watch at least one Seth Rogen film before we go see Sausage Party tonight, and this is the one you have to watch. And he's like, what is it about? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you, just watch it. And when he was confused because they're playing himself, they're like, what? And he loved it. And he agreed, and he said that Jonah Hill was probably his favorite one in the film because obviously the exorcism thing,
oh my god,
is iconic. No one expected that to come, and it happened. He gets like raped by Satan, and it's, oh man,
like
yeah, This Is the End. Seriously, Chase is right. It's gonna become a comedy classic within the next few years. In my eyes, it's already a classic. In my eyes, it's a classic. I love this scene so much. It's my number 4.
Like, that fucking scene of him getting exercised by Jay is like, does it compel me, Jay? Does it?
It's not that compelling, is it, Jay?
It's not that compelling, is it, Jay? So good. So
I will tell you, fuck you, Seth.
Oh my god, that fucking movie. I don't think you guys realize, like, when I saw it, by the end of the movie, like, my face was like, it was wet because I was crying so hard. Like, it was amazing. A great experience. So.
Oh, I'm in the same boat. And I was in one of those theaters that didn't have a lot of people, so it was really echoey. So it was just the entire time. Me and my friend I went with were the only ones enjoying it. So that's an experience.
Yeah, the people that don't enjoy it, take a stick out of your ass. All right, so
exactly.
My number 4, I'm gonna go with kind of like the opposite effect to where like Jonah Hill kind of came back in this movie as like a comedy giant. He was already in comedies before this, but I feel like this was the one where he really kind of put in the forefront of that. Hey, I'm still in comedies, guys. And this was also the one that launched Channing Tatum back on the map. And I'm gonna go with 21 Jump Street. This film to me looked awful from the trailers. It looked like a generic R-rated comedy. I was not looking forward to it. And you guys have to keep this in mind. At this point in time, I did not like Channing Tatum whatsoever.
I don't think anyone did.
No, he was in The Vow. He was in Dear John. He was in this bullshit type of run before he got to 21 Jump Street. And once I saw that, I was like, this guy is going to be something. And once in 2014, I said this and I'll say it again. After I saw Foxcatcher, that is the movie that will shut people the fuck up about Channing Tatum because that guy can fucking act.
Yo.
However, we're talking about 21 Jump Street. But like I said, with Moneyball, is that you plop him in any movie and he's got great chemistry right off the bat. Him and Channing Tatum work off so well. Like I love the fact that he's kind of like the fat nerd, kind of like me, and then Channing Tatum is the dumb jock, and it's making fun of itself, it's spoofing itself, and it's just a really great rendition on the TV show starring good old Johnny Depp. And I had a fun time watching it. It was a nice surprise in 2012, and I still, to this day, it still was competing against Ted as my number 1 comedy for that year. I could never decide, but 21 Jump Street was a great kind of comeback into comedy and stuff right after his Oscar nom for Moneyball. So, yeah, I'm going with 21 Jump Street. I'm assuming it's higher on you guys' list, so pass on everyone?
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
pass.
so Ash put the sequel on there because he said kinda, so yeah. I'm just going to go with that. So,
spoiler alert, yeah.
Spoiler alert. So, all right, speaking of moving on, number 3, Ash, take it away.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I have a Hellboy thing and I'm playing with it. Oh! Yo, right into it. Number 3. When I was making my list, I was like, I love 21 Jump Street, I love 22 Jump Street, but I want my list to be a 1 movie per franchise. So I had to go with 22, because personally I enjoy 22 more, just because it did what every terrible comedy sequel does, but it flipped it on its head, where it did the same exact thing, but it was meta about it. It was self-referential, and all of that worked so well to it. And everything you love about 21 Jump Street is back in 22 Jump Street. Jonah Hill is fantastic in these movies, and it shows to me, I think one of the best comedy pairings of like the last decade is Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. I mean, these two work off each other so well that, like, you could say they're in any movie together. They were in the Lego movie together after this as a Green Lantern and Superman. So, I don't know. I think this is one of the best comedy sequels I've ever seen. I think it's one of Jonah Hill's best easily. Like, the slam poetry scene alone is amazing.
You're dead. Beep boop papa. You're dead.
Yeah, no, but I think, and oh my god, honestly, some of the best laughs I got all decade. I'm just going to stop talking about it now, though, because we're talking about Jonah Hill, and 22 Jump Street is just, it's so Channing Tatum's movie. Like,
yeah. You know what's really funny about with my 21 and your 22 pick is that those can be interchangeable. Like, they're both really good.
It's like they're like this for me. Like,
exactly. Like, 22, I think I'm kind of in agreement with you. The only reason I put 21 is because that was the first one, is that 22, not only was it a sequel, so it had a lot to live up on, but it surpassed it. And it was extremely meta, like you said, and like that's why 22 is actually probably more beloved than the first one, even though the first one's really damn funny. So, yeah, man, I with all being said, I cannot wait for 23 Jump Street or whatever the fuck they're going to do.
I hope they give up on that Men in Black shit and just...
Oh, God. Oh, that almost gave me a heart attack. I hope that never comes to fruition at all.
I don't get it. Yeah, let Will Smith play with his mask and shit, and just give me the fucking surgery or the medical school one that they showed in the end credits.
Yeah, exactly. So, Brian, would you like to pass on this, or would you like to be a dick again and have it again on your list, the same as his?
Well, my number 3 is 21 Jump Street, but I just want to quickly bring up something about 22. I agree that in some ways it might be better than 21, but it is like you said, it's like right there. It's like being right here, and it's like insane. And another scene to be brought up with Jonah Hill is the iconic scene in the restaurant with him and Ice Cube. He's like, "So do you like weather?" So you're like, what a perfect line. Oh my god. Yeah, 22 is simply great. Where'd you find these gringo, man? The fucking Mumford & Sons concert and shit?
How many of you daily say, "My name's Jeff"? Like, if you say you don't say it daily, you're lying.
I say it daily.
Every day.
I say it daily.
You
My
find
coworker,
a way to say it.
Get this, my coworker Jeff, who's like in his 50s, says that when he comes in. He's like, "My name is Jeff." Oh my god. I can't. Okay. Alright, let's get back on topic. Okay, 21 Jump Street's my number 3. Like you, Chase, I did not expect much from this movie. I'm like, hey, look, it's Jonah Hill. Alright. I mean, he just got nominated for an Oscar. Sure, I'm excited for him. Channing Tatum. Ugh, gross. So then I saw the reviews, and I'm like, this is getting good reviews? Okay. And then I saw it, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned. That was amazing. I laughed so much from beginning to end. I mean, his introduction alone, looking like fucking Slim Shady, with that introduction is fantastic. Slim Shady's playing, he's blonde, and he has like the plain white shirt, and like the braces. It's like, what? And then, everything with him is great. I mean, when he sings "I Got a Crow," oh my god, I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't breathe. I don't know exactly what was that. Like, I was dying throughout that whole scene where they first took the drug. Like, that scene. And then he was doing track, and he was, like, dancing on the field. He was, like, dancing before he was running. And then he was using the thing as a penis. Oh, my God. But it's clever, it's meta, it's fantastic. Everyone has said everything they need to say. It's one of the best comedies of the decade so far. I think I could go on a limb saying that it might be my favorite comedy of the decade thus far. And like you, Chase, it was competing with Ted as my favorite comedy of that year because those two were amazing. And it's like, what do I pick? But 21 Jump Street, I've seen more. Nothing against Ted, but 21 Jump Street, it's a masterpiece. Another masterpiece on Jonah Hill's comedy list. That's all I have to say. The end.
Yeah, I agree, and it's like I said, I'm totally with Ash. I do not want to see the Men in Black crossover, but I know for a fact that Jonah Hill does want to make a third one, so I don't care when they do it. I will wait. I will be patient. Yeah. But until then, we got two comedy awesome films from that franchise. So my number 3, I'm going to go the opposite of what they did. I'm going to put This Is the End on top of the Jump Street movies.
Damn.
Because This Is the End is fucking amazing. It will always be a comedy classic in my eyes. Every time I watch it, it gets funnier. So when anyone says they've never seen it, I will literally stop them in their tracks. Oh, hi, you have a baby due in 50 minutes? No. We're watching This Is the End. Sit your ass down. And we're going to fucking watch it because it's amazing. But the reason why I like Jonah Hill's performance in this over 21 Jump Street is, yes, he plays himself. But he's the only one besides Michael Cera that plays so exaggerated of what they actually are that's actually even more comical than it actually is. So, because Michael Cera as a sex drug hound is probably, you can't top that. But Jonah
that bathroom scene.
Yeah, the bathroom scene is ridiculous. But Jonah Hill right below that being like a very like feminine version of him is pretty hilarious to watch. But I still contend that this is the best thing that him and Evan have ever touched in terms of like written produced, directed, whatever. I think this is what they've reached their peak at, and they've done films like The Interview and Sausage Party. They wrote it and stuff. So, but I still think this is the best thing they've ever done, and it's just great to see this creative comedy do really, really well, because it was really successful in the box office, but I think it will have a longer run as the years go on. So that is my number 3. All right, so this is going to be interesting, because we're already down to our top 2. Now, I know for a damn fact that Hungry Like a Wolf movie, you know what I'm saying? I try to do a little hint, a little reference that didn't work. Okay, I know that Wolf of Wall Street is going to be on there somewhere. So I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. I think Wolf of Wall Street is all of our number 2s. Ash, would you like to go first?
Wolf of Wall Street is my number 2.
Okay, before you begin, Brian, what is your number 2?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Mine is 2, bitches! Did you see that shit? Fucking magic, motherfuckers! Alright, so we actually have all the same number 2, like I predicted, because I think I actually have an idea of what all of our number 1.
I think our lists are about to get very similar.
Yeah, so, but since we all have the same number 2, let's just openly talk about it. Ash, I'll let you go first. Why is The Wolf of Wall Street, first of all, important to you in Jonah Hill's career, and just what do you think about that movie overall?
Well, for one, Moneyball was the movie to change Jonah Hill's career and get him that first Oscar nomination. But then you go to something like this, where you're like, hey, we're going to get that guy you all like in the comedies, and we're going to have him work with one of the greatest living directors today. And I think Jonah Hill's performance in this is probably the most impressive performance I've ever seen him pull off. He's got the fucking teeth in the entire time. He's just walking around. He's fucking hilarious in the movie. That's the thing, This builds on his comedy chops, but in a way that's oh so Scorsese. And that's the real thing here. It's that pairing, and the pairing of him and Leonardo DiCaprio. Jonah Hill has a thing about him where he just works off everyone else just so well. I mean, him and Michael Cera, like that. Him and Brad Pitt, like that. Him and Channing Tatum, as we just said, like that. I think the same goes for him and Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. He's one of the most excellent supporting actors of our time, and I think Wolf of Wall Street proves it.
You know what I was really impressed by his performance is that he fit into a Martin Scorsese movie so easy.
Oh, so easy.
That performance and that character that he played, yes, was very outrageous and rambunctious. I mean, hell, he jacked off in front of a party. But but what was great about I'm bringing up the harsh nightmares of Ash right now. So
sorry, I forgot that scene destroyed me.
That scene mixed that was the same scene where they tried Quaaludes for the first time as well. That might be the best one.
Isn't that Margot Robbie's introduction scene too?
Yeah.
She's introduced to Jonah Hill and me as a person who didn't see About Time or anything else, and I'm like, oh my god! I was right there with him. I was like, oh my god!
You're just like, oh my god! Look at this
one
hot
of the most relatable moments in movie history.
Exactly. No, what I found impressive, despite his kind of unlikable demeanor a little bit, is that Scorsese movies tend to have they'll have slimy characters in there, and they'll have fast talking characters and whatnot, and he fit in so well because Martin Scorsese, God bless that man, he is old as hell, yet he still can edit and shoot a movie as if he's our age. It is fucking incredible, and so when you add kind of that gangster Wall Street type of dialogue with Jonah Hill, since he's really good at improv, it works so well, and I think this is the one nomination-wise, I think he deserved the most. I think he deserved it for Moneyball for sure, but I think this was the one that was most deserving, and this is the one to where I would show people. It's kind of like Channing Tatum's Foxcatcher, and I'll go, Jonah Hill, you don't think he can do kind of drama, kind of dark comedic stuff? This is the one right here. And plus, Wolf of Wall Street, dear Lord, might be one of the fastest movies I've ever seen in my life. 3 hours long. I remember sitting in the theater. It was 20 minutes. I was like, oh, it's done. So because I enjoyed it that much. It's a really.
I agree with that.
Even though it's deplorable people, it's fun to watch. I mean, shit. So, yeah, so I mean that's all I gotta say. I think it's one of his best performances to date, and I'm really excited to see him kind of branch off and work with other famous directors and stuff. Like, like, once again, still blows my mind. This is a guy to where he was introduced in 4-Year-Old Virgin as some creepy weirdo buying a disco boot, and now he's working with Martin Scorsese. Like, what the fuck? So it's weird. So that's all I gotta say. Brian, take it away. Why is it important to you, and what did you take away from his performance?
You know, when I found out that he was cast in this movie, I mean, I'm like, that's cool and everything, but I'm so shocked. I'm like, I feel like Martin Scorsese wouldn't work with anyone like Jonah Hill, and yet he got the best out of him. This is, in my opinion, the best performance that Jonah Hill's ever given. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of wish, part of me wished, just wished, for some reason, that he should have won the Academy Award for this movie if Leo ended up winning, but unfortunately Leo did not win. Anyway, yeah, you brought up the scene where he does the thing in front of Margot Robbie, and it's amazing. His introduction when he meets Jordan in the restaurant, he calls his boss and he's like this, hey, everything's fine. Hey, listen, I quit. Like, his line execution too is too good that, and the accent, like, I'm so surprised they did a New York accent so perfectly. Like, that did not sound like Jonah Hill. That sounded like Donnie Azoff, the character that he played, and I just loved it. What other line? There's so many other lines that he says, one of them being on the plane after Jordan's wrapped in like that strait jacket, and Jordan's like, where are the loops, Donnie, where are the loops? And then Donnie's like, they're on my ass. He's just like, they're on my ass. So like, and then the phone scene where he's like, I'm on the phone.
That's the thing. That one scene with Leo, we all praise Leo for it, but Jonah Hill is just as good in the physicalness of that.
No, just as good. I have to agree with you. Wolf of Wall Street, really, and it was my favorite film. It was my favorite film in 2013. It was weird seeing it on the night of Christmas with a packed audience. It was crazy. It was easily one of the weirdest movie theater experiences of my life, and I loved it. Yeah, Chase, you're right. It flies by so quickly. It's one of the fastest-paced films I've ever seen. I own it on Blu-ray. I think I watched it at least 4 times in 1 week, one day, because I was bored. I don't know. I saw the movie 4 times in the theater. So as of right now, I've seen the film at least 10 times fully. It's one of the best films of the decade. It's in my top 10 films of the decade so far.
Oh,
Wolf of Wall Street. Clapping.
Masterful shit.
Masterful shit. Like Chase said, it felt like a 20-year-old made it, and Scorsese's like 86, and yeah, beautiful. Love it.
Cocaine will do that to you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's really interesting to comment on like the editing and the pace of it, because I have a bachelor's in film and whatever, and I don't think I'm good at like filmmaking at all, but when people do ask me about it, I do reference them to 2 movies in terms of how to construct a story very, very well and keep it tight-knit. I always refer them to 2 movies, Wolf of Wall Street and Whiplash. Those are the 2 most recent ones where I was like, this pace is fucking ridiculous. They know how to edit a movie. Now, you know what's really funny? About this whole fucking episode, we just basically jizzed over the fact that Jonah Hill was amazing in Wolf of Wall Street. This was the turning point in his career. However, all of our number ones is basically him getting some poontang. Am I right, gentlemen? Ash.
Correct.
Brian, would you please like to announce what our number 1 is, because it is my number 1 as well.
Superbad. What just happened?
Chase said something. My computer died. It went.
What the hell happened?
Whoa! Wait a minute. For everyone that is watching, Ash, at what point did you stop listening? Like, we've been talking this whole time. We thought you just were nodding your head.
It went pew and it died. I think I need to squirt some shit.
What
I don't
the
know.
fuck is going on?
Whoa, wait a minute. Ash, what was the last thing you heard?
we we finished the Wolfie talk, and you were like, "Do you know what's funny?" And I was really curious to know what you thought was funny.
Wow, I just went on a whole 2-minute rant, and like Ash was non-existent. Okay, so let me just recap once again since Ash is now joining us. I was saying that it's funny that we talk about how masterful his performance in Wolf of Wall Street is when all of our number ones is basically just his character getting some poontang. So I find that kind of funny a little bit because me and Brian have the same number one. I'm assuming, Ash, you have Superbad as number one as well.
Well, there's only one answer when you ask what's the best Jonah Hill film, and it's Superbad.
Let me just start off by saying this. I was 17 when this came out, and it came out August 2007, and I remember it came out like a week before I started my senior year in high school. So I was like the prime target and age group to watch this. And I remember after I got done watching it, which was a packed house and everyone loved it, this was the film, like, there's 3 films that pretty much motivated me to start writing. And after I saw Superbad, I cranked out 6 screenplays in my dorm room in my freshman year of college. 5 of them were dumb, but I mean, I consider one of them to be okay. But that was the movie that kind of jump-started me to actually be inspired to write comedy, and that was the first time I was introduced to Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg as comedic writers. Superbad is basically this modern era's American Pie. And I think for the time it's set in as well, it kind of has like this vintage look to it. It's really it's really funny and stuff. So, guys, I can't really talk about it that much. It's really inspiring to me. It was the one that got me going on a bunch of shit. I think it's a great coming-of-age film. I think it's a great sex comedy. It is what it is. It is basically 2 people looking to get laid, and it's great. A modern-day American Pie and a even more modern-day Porky's. That's what I'm going to go with. So, Ash, I'll take it over to you. Why is Superbad important to you?
Well, here's the deal. With a lot of these movies, I've heard the term best of the decade thrown around a lot. Superbad is one of the best comedies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like,
I'll agree.
That's it. Like, I can watch that movie any time of my life, and it gets me all the time. Like, for one, I talked about comedy pairings, and as good as the Jump Street movies are, I don't think I've ever seen Jonah Hill paired better than with Michael Cera. Like, the 2 of them together make fucking magic with this movie. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful to watch. It's quotable just until the day is gone. Not to mention, the entire plot is just hysterical. I mean, it's so simple when you think about it. It's just a high school movie where 2 dudes are trying to get alcohol for a party so they can get laid. But it's so much more than that, and it has so much that it's like given to society. Like McLovin, it gave that to society. It gave us like the 2 greatest movie cops ever with fucking Seth Rogen and Bill Hader. Gave us so much, and Jonah Hill is so much of what made this movie great. So this was the role that made him, I say.
I gotta be honest with you. I think why we like it so much is because Jonah Hill and Michael Cera play everyday high school people, and that's what we were. Because I wasn't fucking popular in high school. These fucking guys represented me. So that's why I related to them the most. Like so. Like when he's at the party and fucking period blood's on him, I'm like, that would fucking happen to me. That would happen to me at a party. So it's a very relatable movie because, well, first of all, it's like you said, Michael Cera and Jonah Hill's chemistry is so good. Like you feel like they've been friends for a long time, and when you see themselves in those characters, you feel like they represent you and your friends and stuff. So that's why it's kind of important for. Listen, we're all around the same age and stuff, and I was 17 when I saw it. I was at the age that they were at, so it's just crazy to me how much I related to it and stuff. But Brian, what about you, man?
Well, I mean, I just graduated high school 2 months ago, and honestly, like, I could probably relate to this movie as well, because I didn't really do much. I didn't really go to many parties. I'm going to be completely honest. I only went to 2 parties in high school. 2 parties, and that's it. 2 out of my 4 years in high school.
I didn't go to any.
Yeah, neither did I. Never.
I only went to 2. 2. One freshman year and one senior year. That's it.
Well, you got 2 on both of us.
Well, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I stayed at home like them and watched porn.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did. I would either do that or be with my friends and play video games. Like that's what we did. Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
uh, well, I pretty much did the same things that I stayed home, watched porn, and watched movies. That's pretty much what I did.
great. I'm glad that all three of us admitted that we're fucking creeps on here.
Well, we always have to be honest on Top 5 Saturdays Live.
That's right.
Yeah.
No fakeness here. You don't lie. We don't lie to your face.
Yeah, but it's like you guys said, it is honestly one of the best comedies ever. I have it on, it was actually one of the first Blu-rays I ever bought. And it's in between, and it's weird because it's in between Straight Outta Compton and Sweeney Todd. So, like, it's a weird, just weird combination. But anyway, it's like you said, Ash, it's quotable, it's funny, it's endearing, there's a lot of heart in it. Jonah Hill has never worked better with anyone, honestly, than Michael Cera. And people are like, what about with Leo? He works perfectly with Leo. He works perfectly with Brad Pitt. He works really well with Miles Teller. But with Michael Cera, these two play like real-life people in the way. And the funny thing is they're both named Seth and Evan, and yet Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg wrote this film. I think that's clever. I didn't pick on that at first, but when I got older, I'm like, oh, that's actually really clever. I did not see that, but it was very clever. I mean, okay, before I just continue, let me ask you guys something. When you first saw the film, how did you react to when you found out that his character would draw dicks when he was a little kid? Just be honest. Like, what was your reaction?
Uproarious laughter.
Yeah, because I was in a packed theater, and I remember when that scene came on, I couldn't even hear the narration because people were laughing so goddamn hard.
I didn't see it in the theater. I wish I did. I was 9 when it came out, so I couldn't go see any movies. I saw it, like, for the first time, like, 4 years ago on, like, HBO or Stars or one of those channels, and I was just dying. I couldn't believe what I was... I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no, when he said I would draw pictures, and I'm like, what? No, because when he said it, I'm like, I hope they don't show it, and yet they show it, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I can't.
I think we were all thinking the same thing Michael Cera said when Jonah Hill got done telling the story, and Michael's like, I don't think that's normal, dude.
He's like, dude, that's fucked up. Dude, that's fucked up.
You need to see someone about that.
They showed a picture of him with the psych, the psych, or the moment with him in the psych. Oh my god!
I gotta keep it real though. I think my favorite line delivery and my favorite scene in the entire film is the gas station, and when Bill Hader's like, he looks at the license and he goes, "How old are you?" And McLovin goes, "Old enough to party." Like, what a fucking brilliant comeback! Like, come on. But that whole scene with him and Seth as the cops kills me every time.
Oh my
that
god!
entire scene in general, like even Jonah Hill and Michael Cera outside arguing about the lube.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, Evan, I would like to keep this precious lube.
No, my God. See, it's so quotable and it's so funny, but then there's this other layer to it where I think it's one of the best movies about bros before hoes ever.
Yeah.
Because down to the final scene, like where they're like walking away with Emma Stone, another girl who I don't know what she went on to do, and they're just looking at each other. And it's almost like really heartfelt. Like whenever I see that scene, it's like I'm already crying because I've laughed so hard. But then it's like, oh shit, the tears are real now. Like you're crying
with laughter because like the scene before that when they're at Evan's house and they basically sleep and he hugs him in the sleeping bag and Evan's not even hugging him back. He's just like squish. He's like, I love you, man.
Hey, we've all had that drunken moment.
Oh my god! No,
Superbad.
Superbad is a classic. It's honestly a modern day classic. It is such a perfect coming of age comedy. It's one of the best high school comedies. It's so relatable. Like all three of us can relate to it. It's an equivalently masterpiece of a film, and I'm shocked that it got critical acclaim. I'm shocked because when I saw the movie, I'm like, there's no way critics like this movie, and yet they loved it. They loved it.
I think what people have to keep in mind and what people keep forgetting, yes, it is raunchy, but it's also a coming-of-age film. When you have the moments in the movie where Seth is getting really frustrated that, Evan is going off to a different college and stuff, and they're separating and whatnot, people can relate to that in twofolds, because I've been friends with my high school friends since I was 10 years old, and when you go beyond high school and stuff and you part ways, that's a hard thing to accept. And yeah, even though there's a lot of dick and fart jokes in there, there is that layer underneath, and that's what makes it such a multi-dimensional comedy. And I gotta be honest with you, Superbad, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and Knocked Up are my 3 favorite films Judd Apatow has slapped his name on. And I'm a huge Apatow fanboy, but those are the 3 right there that I will always reference to as some of his best. So, yeah, thank you, gentlemen. You know what? This fucking week, I gotta tell you, has got to be one of the most on-point weeks in history. Like, we were all pretty much accurate on everything. Like, we chose all the same movies except for one. I screwed that up, sorry. And then, but like everyone else, same placements and stuff. That's fucking crazy. So, but hey, Jonah Hill is such a young actor and stuff, and he's only been acting for 12 years, so he's still got a lot under him. So, Ash, what about you? What are some of the ones that just did not make your list, but you still want to give a shout out to?
You know what? The one I have that was so close to making it in past Moneyball for me, and I'm like, still it's fighting in my head, is actually War Dogs, which just came out. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen War Dogs, this is one of Jonah Hill's best performances. He is hilarious, but he is slimy, and he's untrustworthy. He's unpredictable, and he has one of the best movie laughs. Like, we all love Seth Rogen and his kind of laugh. Jonah Hill has a laugh in this movie that I think will go on to be iconic for him, where he's just like, like, it sounds like it'll get annoying, but it doesn't. I think War Dogs is one of the most consistently funny films we've gotten all year. One of just most consistently entertaining films we got this year. And I think if you're a fan of Jonah Hill, this is a very different performance for him. So I say go out and see it. Go support it. It's my favorite movie that came out this weekend.
You know what's really funny about War Dogs? I haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing about how crazy it is and how dark it is and how dramatic it is. And people keep forgetting this is based on real-life events. If you want to go read up on the story, it's fucking crazy what these 2 guys did. Like, I cannot believe they got away with that shit. But
yeah, it's crazy, and it's a crazy movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go out.
Is there any more on your honorable mentions you would like to give a shout out to?
I guess he was really good in forgetting Sarah Marshall.
He was
all the movies he played, just small roles in.
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at his list right now, and he's done a lot. Brian, what about you?
Well, I'll also give a shout out to War Dogs. I saw the film as well last week at an advanced screen, and yeah, I really liked the film. I think you might have liked it more than me, Ash. Because, like I said this in my review, and I'll say it again, this is the movie that Pain and Gain tried to be, but it did not work. It tried to take a true story and make it funny, but it failed at doing that. And this movie, like, the synopsis is so stupid. These people are basically becoming arms dealers for the government, and it works. Like, it works very, very well, and Jonah Hill is incredible in the film. The laugh is hysterical. It did not get old at one bit for me. Like, one bit, the laugh stayed consistently awesome from beginning to end. Like, it was perfect. His introduction is great. His love for Scarface in this movie. Oh my goodness. It's excellent. Like, Chase, when you see this movie and you see all the Scarface references and nods, you're just going to love it. You're just going to love it. I mean, if you're a Scarface fanatic, it's automatically going to be something you love. My other honorable mentions include, like, the smaller films that he's in, particularly Knocked Up and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 22 Jump Street. He's really great in the How to Train Your Dragon films. His voice is really good in those films, if you guys remember him in them.
Yeah, he was the fatter one.
Yeah.
That's what's great about How to Train Your Dragon, the movies, is that it acquires most of the Rat Pack, because Jay Baruchel plays the main voice and stuff, and I think who is it? It's either Kristen Wiig or Kristen Bell is one of the voices.
Kristen Wiig.
It's Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig and
T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller, yeah. So it's like the laugh pack or whatever. Like, it's cool. So
yeah, and then I got 3 more honorable mentions. Megamind, he was very funny, and he played someone that I did not expect him to play in that movie. His character was very like, what? And it worked out very well. Cyrus, like Chase brought up earlier, pretty good underrated film. And I know a lot of people seem to not like this one, but for some weird reason, it just made me laugh a lot because I did not expect it to be that funny. I kind of have a weird love for The Sitter. I don't know why, but somehow, I don't know why. It's one of those guilty pleasures for me. For me, Chase, there are many films that you like that are considered bad. Let's not forget that. You have brought up many movies that are considered bad, and it's Jonah Hill that makes the movie for me. I don't know why. It's him. It's him that makes the movie for me. And also, originally, we all thought that it was going to be the last movie where we saw him play a fat guy. So, those are it for the honorable mentions. And yes, and yes, for his Lego Movie cameo as Green Lantern, it's fantastic because he is obsessed with Superman. He's like, hey, you want to sit with me, Superman? Oh, I have to go back to Krypton. Didn't Krypton blow up? And that's it. The end.
Yeah, no, those are all great picks. I'll echo that. I'll also add Accepted. I think that's a pretty nice little...
Ooh, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, it's not like the best movie, but it's enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable
It's a good TV movie.
Oh, for sure. If there's nothing on TV and that
it's on
pops
Comedy Central. Watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure it plays on there all the time.
I think it does. That's how I watched it.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll say How to Train Your Dragon as well. And that's it for my honorable mentions. I'm gonna go ahead and start off the dishonorable mentions. I gotta get this out because people have been asking, and one of our listeners on Spreaker had mentioned it right before we started. I'm gonna fucking say it. Sorry, Brian. The Sitter and The Watch are his two worst comedies he ever did, and they're the two most forgettable ones he ever did. Brian, could you please describe to me 3 different scenes in The Sitter?
Okay, so you have the scene with him with the girl in the kids' room when Pussy from Orange is the New Black comes up saying, "Oh shit, I remember you. I went to high school with your ass." The second sequence with him telling this dumb kid from that terrible What We Do what's the name of that movie? Where the Wildings Are. I'm sorry, I hate that movie. Where he's saying, "Oh, you're as queer as a football bat. Too fucking bad." And the scene where he interrogates Sam Rockwell at the end. For me, it's an enjoyable film. I haven't seen it in at least 2 years, but to me, Jonah Hill is what makes it enjoyable. I don't know. It's here's the thing. I should have brought this up earlier. Jonah Hill may say lines that are not funny, but because it's him saying it, it's funny. To me, I mean, that just may be my opinion, but maybe if I watch The Sitter again, maybe I won't like it. But for some weird reason, I just find it to be not the worst movie. It's not great by any means, but I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure for me. It's how, unfortunately, I'm the only person on this earth who likes That's My Boy. And I don't know why I like it, but some odd reason I like that one. I don't know why. But
okay, so
that's it. The end.
Yeah. Anyways, so I guess Brian has a better memory than me because I don't remember shit from that movie. And the reason why The Watch is probably the worst one is only because it has as big a names as him in it. With Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, and Richard Ayoade, it's what the hell happened, man? It was directed by Akiva Schaffer, who did Hot Rod. He did the recent Pop Star, which Pop Star and Hot Rod are amazing, but The Watch is not. So it's maybe you should just stick to movies that you write with your Lonely Island buds. Is The Watch? Dear Lord, the only thing I remember that is the fucking orgy scene. That's the only thing I remember.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that scene.
I don't remember dick from that movie. I don't know. It's just forgettable. Ash, what about you? What are some of the ones that just stick out to you as the shit bombs?
Well, I admittedly, where Brian has his guilty pleasure with The Sitter, I have that with The Watch. But one of his more recent films that really didn't click with me whatsoever was True Story.
Ooh, I never saw that one.
Franco. It looked so good. It was him, James Franco, my girl Felicity Jones. I was so hyped for it, and it is so fucking boring. It's just not fun, no fun whatsoever. And then also, they're not shit bums, but I'm not a fan of How to Train Your Dragon, so I don't know. That's really it for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's cool about Jonah Hill is that he's only been acting since 2004, but he has got a lot more hits than, misses, and I'm really just
strange for a comedic actor.
Oh, for sure, because you would figure when you put a comedy actor in a lot of comedies and stuff, it'll start to kind of wear on you, and you're like, I want to take a break for a little bit. But even with his most recent, because he's in 2 movies in the theaters right now. You know what I really like about him as of Sausage Party he's really good with voice acting. Well, I mean, How to Train Your Dragon, but like, I thought him and Michael Cera were the best voices in Sausage Party for sure. And
I'd agree with that. He was one of my favorite parts.
oh, it was amazing.
Like
so
Michael Cera stole the movie for me, but
right, like that. I don't know what Michael Cera is doing, but his agent needs to get more voice work. The fact that he's in this and Batman Lego movie,
dude,
like,
he's
come
gonna
on.
be the best Robin.
Come on, like Michael Cera needs to do more voice work because he's starting to have a little resurgence now. So, but hey, we're talking about Jonah Hill,
Thank
but
God.
you know, that's his comrade. Yeah. So for all you people out there listening and commenting and stuff, Graham on our Spreaker side right now, he commented that The Watch and The Sitter were his worst ones. So I'll ask you guys this. What are some of your favorite and worst Jonah Hill movies? I'd like to know. Comment in the place, rub my face, and let me know. Brian, what are we doing next week?
Wait, is there anything Jonah Hill has coming up in his filmography? Is there anything?
Nope.
Nothing?
I just saw How to Train Your Dragon 3 when I looked him up.
That's basically it.
Well, oh yeah, Watch is my worst, by the way. The end. The Watch is, you said everything you need to say about the Watch chase, so yeah, that's my worst. The end.
But they
yeah.
shoot the aliens in the dicks.
I know.
Don't!
The only sequence,
don't!
honestly, to be quite honest, the only sequence I liked in the film was with Jonah Hill when he was in the police station. He's like, look at him and understand me. Look at both of us and understand no one. Listen to my words and hear his face. I don't know why. In the trailer it worked, but then in the movie it worked. Not as well as it did in the trailer, but it managed to work. So, yeah. Okay, next week, unfortunately, well, the only thing coming out next week is Don't Breathe. So there's really nothing to really honor that film with. So we are going to be doing our top 5 indies of this summer.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Ash, since you're not going to be on next week, I'm actually curious, can you rapid fire, what are your top 5, just real quick, indie movies that you found great this summer?
Well, the indie movies have been fucking saving the summer. If I had to give a top 5, let me think. I saw Hell or High Water last night. That was great.
Yeah!
Neon Demon is definitely up there for me.
Eh.
I'll go top 4 because I can't remember. Wait, did The Lobster come out this summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then Lobster, and then 2 of the only movies I've given perfect scores to this year. Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. And what is currently my best movie of the summer, which is Captain Fantastic.
Yes!
Damn,
yes!
I didn't fucking see that movie!
Yes!
What are you talking about?
It's so good.
That is
I love it.
that is a beautiful piece of cinema. Captain Fantastic is a beautiful piece of cinema,
fucking
as a
agreed.
Swiss Army Man.
Damn. Okay. Hey, well, you guys have convinced me. I will see Captain Fantastic. So shame on me. But then again,
The
that's
hype
how
is real.
that's how I saw Hell or High Waters, because people kept recommending it. I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. And holy shit, that is
Dude.
probably my favorite movie of the year so far. Like,
Really?
dear
Yeah, I
God,
really enjoyed
I
it.
loved it that much. Like, I
Ben
was just
Foster is so good in it. Like,
him and
he's worth the
Chris
price of admission.
Pine. Chris fucking Pine, dear Lord. I was like, listen, I've never been impressed with him ever.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's serviceable, but this is the one where I was like, damn, Pine, you got it. You got the acting bug, son.
It's easily the best I've seen him in this year.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I mean, Star Trek was meh, and then that other one he did where he was on the lifeboat, that kind of sucked. So
Yeah, no, and I've been praising Ben Foster for 10 years now, and no one still gives a shit, but whatever. So, yeah, thanks for that, man. So that will do it this week, guys, for Top 5 Saturdays Live. Ash, I want to thank you for coming on, man, and where can the people find you?
Oh, well, thanks for having me on. I had a good time, especially when my computer died. I'm excited to fix that. But if you do want to find my beautiful face, you can find me right here on YouTube at The Captain Vitus Show and on my various social medias at Captain Vitus 771.
Yeah, and if you guys are wanting specifics and stuff, I have all of his links in the description below, so go follow Ash, go subscribe to him. He's really good at delivering movie reviews and stuff. He does not stutter like me, and he actually has proper grammar structure. So, Brian, what about you? Where can the kids find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BrianSuts98 and on YouTube at Brian Sutfield.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at RealChaseLee, and you want to subscribe to this YouTube page. Follow on Spreaker. I'm on iTunes. I got just if you Google my name, not only will you find some porn on there, but you're going to find it on my podcast. So just go for it. Just have fun, guys. So we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live, where we're going to go over our top 5 indie films of the summer. So I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Suffield.
That's fucking right. And the intro and outro music is done by my friend's band, Fervent Roze. Check them out. Link in the description below. Peace out, everyone. Have a good Saturday night. Bye-bye.
Whee!
Oh, Jonah Hill. He's basically me if I were an actor.
That would make us
He doesn't.
friends because everyone keeps saying